Hey guys, Mr. Mitch here. I'm out on the water today with Uncle Carl and we're going to take the Seadoo Sparks out and basically give you guys a beginner's guide to what it's like owning a Spark. Right down from how much it costs to fill up in petrol, how fast they go, even to what you got to do just to get it in the water, which basically isn't a huge amount, but a lot of questions to be answered, so let's get out on the water and let's do it. For a beginner, first thing you want to do is check your fluids and oils. Fluids are on this side, right in here, so you just snap it back like this and you'll find your fluids here. When we first got these skis though, we couldn't figure out how to put these back on, so you do have to be a little bit rough with it. So it's like this, bam, and then bam, bam, done. So don't be shy, give it a good boom. And then oil's on the other side, you can't miss it, but make sure you check those before you do head out. Alright, so putting petrol in, it'll take around 20 litres, so it costs around $30 max to fill up, and that'll give you a full day's worth of action on the water, so really cheap, really economical to run these skis. Okay, so you want to know how fast you can go on these. The top speed we've got up to is around the 83 kilometres an hour, but these are more like dirt bikes, so they're more built for the jumps and the turns, so you find yourself mainly heading around the 60 to even the 50 zones comfortable, but any more than that it's a bit of a bumpy ride unless you're on like a lake. So to pay the extra $1,000 and get the IBR, or to not, I suppose. So I chose not to get the IBR, where Uncle Carl here went for safety and got the IBR, and we're sitting on the fence. Personally, I don't feel like I've ever missed out or ever thought that, shit, I should have bought that.
Because you never had one?
But yeah, because I've never had it, so I don't know what I'm missing.
It's quite useful though.
But it is quite useful for amateurs like Carl here. I'll show you now how we dock the ski anyway without the IBR, and show you how simple it is basically, so let's go. How about that? No IBR needed. Okay, another thing I know that we looked up quite a lot on Google before we purchased the Seadoo Sparks was how far you could go per tank, because they are kind of small and they say they've got a small tank. But for me, they go very, very far. So we've spent like 4, 5, even 6 hours heading up and down the seaway here on the Gold Coast and still made it home with 1 or 2 bars. But what are your thoughts, Carl, on the fuel consumption?
Good, because it's cheap, because petrol is so expensive.
Yeah, so it works out to be, there's a 20 litre tank, I think it is, so it works out to be around $30 max for us to spend a whole day out on the water, so that is definitely value for money. And I suppose the other major question when you are looking at purchasing the Seadoo Spark is, do you get the 2-up or the 3-up? We've obviously behind us got the 2-ups. If you're gonna buy the 2-up, it's pretty much a solo expedition every time then, unless you've got a really small partner or child. These things are not built for 2 people. You will need the 3-up if you want to take a 2nd or 3rd person. But nothing wrong with a little bit of solo time. Gives you an excuse that you can't take a passenger, because these things are much, much more fun without having to carry someone around. And the biggest question of all, do the Seadoo Sparks get you chicks?
And as you can see,
nothing. Okay, with the Seadoo Spark, you do get sports mode built into it, so it's not something you do need to pay for. Doesn't necessarily mean you go faster than the sort of like the 80 kilometer max speed limit, but it will increase your acceleration off the mark considerably. Like as soon as you pull the trigger down, whoo, your Seadoo will jump out of the water. Don't trip over. Okay, so when you get back from your trip, all we do is a quick little sprinkle with some fresh water to get any salt off, and then chuck it in the back, start it up for about a minute or 2, bob's your uncle, and that's it, you're off home. Another feature that you do get the option to buy or not buy is this bucket, the front bucket here.
Oh, really?
So, if you don't get the front bucket, first of all, these things look ridiculous because there's a big hole that goes through. And it is quite handy to have some storage, even if it's just for a tow rope for a worst case scenario, or you're going to chuck some water in there. So pay the dollars and definitely get this. So if you have to choose between IBR and the bucket life is the way to go. Okay, so that is our beginner's guide to the Seadoo Spark. As I said, we've had them for 3 years. We've tested them out. We've done roughly 80 to 100 hours on them so far. So if you do have any other questions that we can help you with, drop them in the comments below, and we'll definitely